And welcome to the class. The first thing you need to do is you need to go to aplusstudents.com. You need to go to the website. Okay. Once you are on the website, you need to select math as your subject. Since it's a maths lesson, select math. This is a grade 9 lesson, grade 9s, and the topic is statistics. Stats. Statistics. I'll give you the chapter number. Just a moment, please. Okay. The chapter number is 9 and the lesson number is 1. Chapter number 9 and the lesson number 1. And today what we will do is we will identify biased samples. Okay. Okay. Let's go to grade 9, chapter number 9 and lesson number 1. Okay. So what we are trying to see is what is biased and unbiased. Okay, let's look at the terms. Unbiased could be a referee, right, who does not favor either team. Unbiased can be a fair dice. A fair dice means every number has an equal chance, right? That means if you roll a dice is always rolled, a coin is always flipped. Okay, so if you roll a dice, any number can come out as the outcome, right? So that would be unbiased. Biased would mean when we favor someone. Biased means favor, sorry, FAVOR. Let's not do OUR. Favoring something or someone. Okay, the example could be if I am your maths teacher and there's one of the students in the class who always answers the question before anyone else. So I would sometimes favor that student, right? I am being biased. I am not being equal with everyone because I'm favoring one student, right? In case of a dice, what happens is the dice can also be biased, right? We know about the density, right? The density is how much density look at every number has an unbound. They could be favors, right? We can be favoring something. What happens in the coin if we want to see uh, if a coin can be unbiased, right? We were talking about it. What happens in the is the heavier the thing, it will fall flat on the ground. It will fall quickly, right? So 1 and 6 are the opposite. So if we one side heavier, we can try this. If we put, let's suppose if we have a dice, we put 8 on the 6, right? Which is 6 dice. Our answer would usually come out to 1 because the side is 1 heavier. Done by we need to follow criteria over there. Okay? So let's start off. Let's say I would create a question. Okay. Let's suppose on a paper and fold it, right? So teacher, sorry, teacher selects random is biased selection. So we will look at this. Okay, let's see. We have 20 students in the class. Okay. Okay. So what happens over here is that when the names are written down on pieces of paper, each student had one name written, right? So what happens is every student has a chance of every student would experiment, this event would be biased or see we know that a coin can have head on these options, right? Either the coin can land on either of them, right? So when there is no specific, that means they both have the same chance. Would use the word chance. Same chance. Okay, the same chance. That means they are unbiased. So that means there was one head and there was one tail. That means in this case we would say a coin biased until you make it. Apart from the scenario, it is biased, right? We say another side. One, two, three, and right. So possibilities. How many possibilities? Can you give me the number of possibilities? There are a total of three possibilities, right? Either they can have a 1, it could be a 1, 2, it could be a 3. They, and the possibilities are but in 6th position. Right? So 3 had 3 possibilities. Outcomes are not equal. 1 was 2 times and 3 was 3 times. We say this coin is biased. Why? Because there is a of getting bias in that outcomes has look at another example. Okay. Let's suppose there is a college junior high students. So since the basketball students are grown, they have more height. That means they would have more. When we compare the two different classes of students, say it have more chance of the game. That means this is biased. Biased over here would say unequal, right? If they would have been on the same grade level, then it would have been fine. An example would be, let's see, these are random examples. Okay. If I would say there is a, let's fan of a foot match. These fans, these fan is there, right? Fan is there. So they prefer team over, right? Means they have preference team B. And if I like team A, even if it means I am being solution of a bias because it's okay. It's right. Okay. Let's look. I'm just trying to find some questions that we would be able to. Moment, please. Okay. If question number 6 says there is a survey, the survey for a field your grade level, right? So the survey is being done for a field trip. Students are asked, and students are asked to recommend. So, be biased or unbiased? Since every student has choice, choosing right where they wish to go, that means not they cannot have a single outcome, right? So single outcome, biased or opinion. Like there could be some options, like these are the places there we can go. They can have their opinion. It's a field trip to an amusement park or a zoo. So some students can say we don't want to go to the zoo. We might want to go to this particular place. So it's opinionated, right? There's an opinion, there's a favor that will always be a bias. Okay, and we don't want the bias. We today what if there is a bias or there is not bias. Okay. Next question. Let's see. We have, let's suppose we wish biased or not. You need to for a class rep. You are given vote for the class. So once you have a choice, right? That means this would always, we have option number 1, we have option number 2. Not everyone will pick it. Right? That means if every student has a choice to select, so they have their own preference, right? They could be friends with student 1, someone could be friends with student 3, someone does not like student 2, right? The choice number 2, that means this is a biased. Okay, whenever it's a choice based, whenever they don't have the equal chance, then it means okay. Okay, let's see if I can. If let's see random sample. See, what is a random sample? Sample space is the list of all possible outcomes for a particular event. If anything that happens is an event, right? That would be known as a sample space. Okay. So let's suppose a coin. So what should be the possible sample space of a coin? Either we can have a head or we can have a tail, right? Agreed? These are the two possibilities we can have. Do we agree on this? Just fluctuating. Sorry for that. Okay. So let's have a look. So what's happening? Sorry. I just had a disconnect by this. So I'll just reshare replace my screen, okay? Fine, we're back. Okay. A dice. We have, okay? Okay, if we have this on the screen, if I say this is the question given to me, it says Joseph puts Joseph put names of all the students in the school into a hat. Then he drew 50 names out of the hat, right? This is random. Question number 8. Is this sample of students in the school likely to be biased? Is this a biased sample? Because each student each student had an equal chance, right, of being selected. So when there is no biasness, then there is an equal chance, right? So we say there is no bias, right? There is no bias over here. Moving ahead to the next question. The next question says, to review for the final, Irma did 7 random problems. Okay. Irma did these 7 random problems. I'll just copy paste. Okay. Let me realign this. Question number 9. I would wish to save some space. There's 7 random problems in the assignment in her class. Equal number of problems. Okay. Is the sample space assigned problem space likely to be biased? Okay. We read the question again. To review the final, Irma did 7 random problems, right? Whenever the word random is used, it means no choice was, you did not have a choice, you did not select, right? That is totally random. Okay. Each assignment had an equal number of problems, right? It was random and equal number of problems. So once you do random thing, there is never a bias. Okay. No, there is no bias since she selected randomly. Okay. So whenever you will hear the term randomly, you will say there is no bias. Okay. Okay. Moving ahead. Okay. Jeffrey surveyed 307 business owners in the city. And is this sample? Okay, I'll just put it over here. Jeffrey surveyed these many business owners, 307 business owners in the city. Is this sample of the people in the city likely biased? What do you say? What do you suggest? Is this sample biased? He did 307 business owners survey. See, a city might have more than 1,000, hundreds of thousands of business, right? So what he did was he chose 307 out of those undefined businesses, right? So this is a bias because Jeffrey chose out of the total businesses, right? Right? So once he is choosing, it's not random. This is not random. And anything that is not random, it is biased. Okay, do we agree on this? So this selection would be bias selection. Okay. For the next question, we can say that, okay, Elizabeth polled the first 72 attendees at a concert. Okay. Okay. I'll just put the question over here and I'll resize this. Is this sample space likely to be biased? Okay. What Elizabeth is doing is she wants to take a survey. Elizabeth polled the first 72 attendees. It says first 72, right? Attendees at a concert. Is this sample of the concert attendees likely to be biased, right? It is likely to be biased. Why? Because she is specifying 72 people, right? She's specifying, right? So, and the people after 72 might have a different opinion, right? It's not a random selection. If she would have taken 72 names and out of those 72 names, she would have randomly selected maybe 10, then this would not be biased, right? So this would be biased because she took the first 72 and the first 72 might have a very different opinion than the remaining people that are attending, right? So we say that yes, this is a bias because random selection was not done. Okay. Okay. Very similar question. The next one. The next question says Kendall surveyed. Let me just copy this. Question number 11, and this would be question number 12. Okay. So Kendall surveyed these many people. Okay. At the movie premiere. So if they are specifying that she or him did 47 celebrities, first 47 celebrities, right? They did not do any more celebrities after like 47. So they are using a bias over here. Is likely to be biased? Yes. This sample is likely to be biased. See, why would this bias happen over here? Because we are not taking it out of all the attendees, right? If there were 100 celebrities at a movie premiere, right? Then if you take out random people out of those 100, right? Then it would be unbiased. But when you are saying the first 47, so you don't know who's coming in first 47 place, right? And what their opinion is. Because this is about a survey, right? Maybe the first 47 were child stars, right? So they were children, and you were asking questions in the survey related to adults, right? So they would not have a very specific answer. Or maybe the first 47 were adults, and you were asking about movies related to kids. So this is a biased. You can select everything, you choose everyone, and from those everyone, when you select randomly, that becomes unbiased. Okay. So let's have a look for the next one. Okay. Riley is speaking to 42 donors who gave the most money. Okay. Okay. Riley spoke to 42 donors who gave the most money. Is this sample likely to be biased? What do you think? What is your opinion? Can I have anyone's opinion on this? See, Riley is speaking to 42 donors, but not randomly. Those donors have a specific requirement. They were the ones who gave the most money, right? For the charity. So, money and slash charity, I'll write. Okay. So, they gave the most charity. So, what he is doing is he's not talking to everyone. I could have given if I am amongst those people, I could have been the 43rd person, right? Because I gave a little less than 42. That means I am not selected. Riley is selecting is the top 42. So he has a specific condition. So whenever a selection is being done based on a condition, it would always be biased. because the selection is not biased. Okay, because he says I would only speak to the people who gave the charity and the maximum charity. Okay. Okay. Dean for 200 people throughout each city in his country. Okay, let's look at this. The next one. If this is the question we have, it says, let me just align this. Just a moment, please. Okay. Okay. This is question number 14, which says, Dean polled 200 people throughout each city in his country, right? And they're saying each city is the same size. We are assuming that each city has equal number of people in it, right? And they are selecting 200 people from the each city. So did they give any condition that those 200 people have to be rich, they have to be old, they have to be young, they have to be celebrity? There are no conditions, right? So when there is no condition, no conditional choosing, right? That means it is unbiased. Those 200 people could be any random 200 people, right? So this means that Dean is doing unbiased sampling throughout the country in each city of the country, right? So we just need to understand the scenarios where it would be biased or it would be unbiased. Okay. Jason surveyed 610 children under 16 in a town. Okay. If the ages of these children are under 16, let me just put it again over here. Jason surveyed the students in a town. Is the sample in the town likely to be biased or unbiased? Okay. For question number 15, it says, Jason surveyed 610 children under the age of 16, right? Under the age of 16. So is this sample biased or unbiased? Is there a condition? Is there a condition given while choosing? Yes, there is a condition. The condition is that the children have to be under 16 years of age, right? Now that means it's a bias. He could have selected 17-year-old child or 18-year-old or 25-year-old, any age, right? But when they are saying we are only selecting under 16, there is a condition, right? And whenever there is a condition that needs to be followed, it becomes biased sampling. Okay, bias sample is when you select a number of people, things, or anything. When the selection is done, this is the bias sample of people, right? That would not have the accurate answers. Okay, so let's try some questions from the test. Let's see what we can do. Just a moment, please. I go back to maths. This was, sorry, I'm so sorry. This is grade 9, right? Grade 9. 9 and 1 and the test. Okay. The test begins over here. I'll just give a heading for the test. I say we are doing the test. Let's try a few questions. Nathan is doing a survey, 12 employees at the company over a decade of experience. Okay. So this is a question that's with us. And we have two options, yes or no. Is it biased? Yes or no? Okay. Okay, just a moment. Nathan's at with over a decade of experience. Okay. So this was our question number 1. What Nathan is doing, he's surveying 12 employees at the company having over a decade. He's not saying any employee can be interviewed or surveyed, right? So when the condition is there, we just saw that whenever a condition is given to us, right? This is a conditional choosing, right? Conditional. This is conditional, right? So whenever it's conditional, what should happen? Should it be biased or unbiased? They are saying, is the sample of the employees at the company likely to be biased? Yes, it is biased because there is a specific condition. In order to be surveyed or in order to be asked questions, you have to have over a decade of experience. Okay. So the next one is Ariel read 22 papers from each of the small folders. Just a moment, I'll just copy this, then we'll read it together. For question number 2 says, if this is our question number 2, these are the options given for us. What they're saying is this given sample a biased sample? Okay, I'll just rephrase this so that we can read this. Okay. Ariel read 22 papers from each of the small, question number 2, 22 papers from each of the small folders sitting in a pile, right? From each folder has an equal number of papers, right? So would this selection be biased or unbiased? See, what we need to see is there are small folders in a pile, right? Each folder, let's suppose there are 10 folders, 100 folders, small folders sitting in a pile. From each folder has same equal number of papers in it, right? So they could be 100 papers in it. So from every folder, Ariel is reading 22 papers, right? Is it likely to be biased? No, because the selection doesn't have specification. There is no condition in it, right? It's not specifying that this pile we would read 22 pages, from this pile we'll read 20 pages. There's no condition over here. Whenever we do not have any condition relating to our selection, we say, is the sample of the papers in the small folders likely to be biased? We say, no, it's likely not biased. Okay. Please do try the remaining questions and give it a try. Take care. Have a nice day. Bye.